And we're back for another Wednesday full show. Hello everyone, welcome back to Biz by the Water, your favourite sporting podcast. Starting off the episode a bit differently with your news headlines and your weather update for the rest of the week. Now, of course, it is Wednesday afternoon and it's been a bit different today. Of course, been a bit sunny than yesterday, of course, and a bit hotter. Tops of 33 today. And of course, for your Thursday, tops of 26, lows of 19, bit rainy. And for Friday for Sydney, tops of 23, low of 18. And if you're listening anywhere else in Australia, I'm sorry, but look, I don't have access to all those geographical listener information yet. But yeah, look, there's a lot of news going on in Sydney at the moment, not just in the radio and political world, but I do chat about that on my two other podcasts. Look, Susan Lee, of course, just a tiny bit of politics to start off the episode. Susan Lee is facing a a lot of backlash, and it looks like she won't last for much longer in the Liberal Party room. Look, the Israeli president has touched down in Australia, and look, there's been a lot of protests about that as well, and look, we'll see where that ends up. And did you know how much it costs to run an ad in the Super Bowl? Of course, the Super Bowl is on currently, and let's take a look. Ad Super Bowl cost 2026. It's getting more and more expensive by every Super Bowl that goes on. I read somewhere earlier today that per second it was $223,000. Now, look, I don't have that kind of money. I wouldn't even be able to afford a second. But yeah, look, if you guys keep listening to the podcast, maybe in the future we'll be able to take out a Biz by the Water Super Bowl ad. What do we all think of that? But yeah, look, if you're into radio and politics, I do run Biz Audio and Biz Politics. Check that out wherever you get your podcasts. And look, if you're looking for some more content to watch, the Lockdown Biz has it all on YouTube. Restaurant reviews, you can check out the 12 episodes that I've done with my cousin Ryan. We go around to different restaurants in the Burwood and CBD area in Sydney, and checking out different places to eat. And we do love a good feast. And look, mostly Asian restaurants. Malatung is the best thing I've ever had. Best place in Burwood, Chungking Malatung. Shout out to you guys. You guys do an incredible job there. I love it. It's so cheap, such good quality. Everything's so fresh. You guys cook it perfectly. I do love my Cantonese sausage so much. That's the one thing I get every time I go there. Cantonese sausage and sometimes the marinated beef. And that's with the bone soup. You can't go wrong with the bone soup. I've taken so many of my friends there and they all love it. They all keep going back. So shout out to you guys. You guys do an amazing job. And of course, Gong Cha. Gotta love a good, anything Gong Cha. Love it. Yeah, look, my least favorite restaurant in Burwood has got to be probably, there's a place called Duty King. It's right across from Westfield. Look, it's not bad. It's just the prices are really, really expensive. For the portions you get, it's really expensive. Like a tiny fried rice is probably $20. Went up the road to another place, you can probably get a bigger fried rice for probably about $12. But you got to shop around. That's the whole thing. If you go to one store and base everything off that one store, it's not going to go, you won't go very far. That's why we love trying someplace new every week. And my other favorite restaurant in Sydney, now this is probably the more expensive ones, I gotta say, is Heidi Lau in Darling Square. I love that place to death. I've been there with friends from work. I've been there with friends from school. It is great. Honestly, I love that. It's just something about hot pot that's different. Look, anyway, that's my food rant for this episode. But if you want to try any of those places out, and if you do want any recommendations, message me on Instagram at MaxMonday13. Actually, did I change my handle again? I've changed it so many times. I'm pretty sure it's just MaxMonday13 now. Yeah, it is. So look, you can chuck us a follow and slide into my DMs. I don't know if people use those terms anymore. But anyway, yeah, look, Biz by the Water also has Instagram at Biz by the Water. And of course, we have a YouTube channel with the Lockdown Biz, Biz Audio, Biz Politics. I run it all, Biz Photography as well. I do that with you, Lockie. Yeah, look, thank you all for listening to Biz by the Water over the past few years. I just realized we just hit 100 episodes the other day. I'm sorry I didn't do a celebration or anything for it, but look, I'm really happy we got to 100 episodes. I don't think we got there, and I certainly would have gotten there without all you amazing listeners. And the listeners, they do make it happen. So yeah, thank you. But look, with all the haters, with all the listeners, there do come a lot of haters. So look, the haters, just know you guys all the haters especially keep me going because I want to prove you all wrong someday. But yeah, look, that'll probably get used against me someday. So look, I got to be careful with what I say on here with all the ACMA regulations coming in. But thank God I don't have like a producer or anything to tell me what I can and can't say. I need a censor in here sometimes. Not that I've ever sworn on a podcast. So look, yeah, maybe I'll just move on to a different topic. But look, we're getting getting back into the sporting world this week. It is only Tuesday. I swam this morning. It was all right. We did a few 50s. I got to say, what is the right amount of 50s to do? We did a descending. We did 8 50s and 6, then 4, then 2, then 150 max. But what's the right amount to do for a main set? Now, looking at over what I used to do back in the day was 30x100's on 130. That was a really tough set, and I don't think I'd ever do that ever again. But look, 31s, I don't know, there's a coach that I know that just says, look, if you want to do well, you just do 31s. And I do agree with that to a certain extent. 31s can only help so far, but switching it up every now and then, doing a bit of breaststroke, doing a bit of backstroke. I've got to say, backstroke is the best stroke for recovery, breathing the whole way. And sometimes when I'm doing a 200 AM in training, I just go really easy on the backstroke and just max it, the fly, breast, and free. And I think that's what a lot of people do, because you're breathing the whole way on the backstroke. And it's easier to just relax, not kick too much. I save my kick for the breaststroke personally. I don't use it too much in the butterfly, but I use it more in the breaststroke and the freestyle. Because the freestyle, I just send it to the end. I just max it, and that's when I get to the finish line. But yeah, look, that's my take on swimming. If you have any complaints or queries or suggestions, you can, of course, let us know at BizByTheWater on Instagram. And I do the show by myself. I've had 2 co-hosts in the past. But yeah, look, currently I do the show by myself, and I enjoy doing it by myself. I do get to ramble on a bit, but I find it much easier personally doing it by yourself, because it makes it easier. If I want to record one day, I can. I don't have to schedule it with somebody else, and I can pump out more episodes more regularly. But yeah, look, if you have any topic suggestions, please do send them through. We do chat all about swimming, and swimming is a great part of my life, and it's a great part of many others of my friends' life. And do you go to the gym as a swimmer or an athlete? That's one thing I wanted to ask. Because looking at what I've done recently, I haven't been going to the gym a lot. I used to go to the gym a fair bit, and of course, Clubline Burwood, you guys had the pleasure of having me. I'm just kidding. It was a great gym, Clubline Burwood. It's a bit of a different one. It's in a business park. It's right above Service New South Wales, and you wouldn't find a gym in the middle of a business park, but the business park was quite empty, and there's a lot of construction there going on. I know a few friends of mine who do still go there, and I did go there actually 2 months ago just to check it out again. And it's a great gym, lots of facilities. Just it's quite hidden. Not many people know about it, and it can be quite empty sometimes, which is a bonus, actually. I do prefer working out in peace and quiet, not where I have friends coming up to me and saying, hey, Max, how are you? But not that happened a lot, but yeah, look, there's a school gym at my school as well, but I don't want to follow a set program. And look, I prefer to do my own thing and what is tailored for swimming. But yeah, back on track. As an athlete, is it important to work out? Even just doing a jog once a week, does it complement your, of course, your sport or your stroke in swimming? Let me know. I would love to know. I'd love to find out. 0424257028. Now, of course, the Winter Olympics are currently taking place for 2026 in Milano Cortina. And flashing back, I wanted to shine a bit of a spotlight on Stephen Bradbury. We've all done a Bradbury at some point in our life. And looking at Stephen Bradbury, he did some great things. But of course, the highlight was his short track race, speed skating 1,000 meters at Salt Lake City in 2002. That is a moment, I think, that defines Australian sporting. And I gotta love it, the Stephen Bradbury moment when he just went through that finish line. His reaction was priceless. So have you done a Bradbury? I would love to know. I was listening to Jonesy and Amanda yesterday, and I heard someone talking about how they applied for a job. And looking at that, have you ever applied for a job and just gotten it without even thinking you would? I've applied to lots of jobs in my time, and as a 15-year-old, getting rejected from Macca's and KFC. Sorry, no, I did work at KFC, actually. You know what? I'll talk about some of my experiences at KFC in a later episode, but remind me to do that. But yeah, getting rejected from Macca's wasn't very fun. I bet you I'll rock up to school tomorrow, and this will be used against me. But yeah, look, have you ever applied for a job and just gotten it without any expectations? That's one I'm interested to hear, because I want to know your tactics. I want to know, have you had a really good resume? Have you lied on your resume as well? I know that I think that might be illegal actually these days. So I'm not encouraging anything. But yeah, let me know some of your experiences in the job world, any tips you have. And of course, look, this weekend we got some great swimming competitions coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is an interesting one. Senior Metros is taking place, and that should be a great one. I think I've got the 50 fly 100 breast on Friday night. I think maybe the 50 breast on Saturday and the 50 free on Sunday. 50 free is always a nice one to end off the week, so that should be interesting to see how we go. Training is, of course, ramping up, and I don't think tapering will take place until Thursday probably Thursday actually. Now that I say it out loud. But yeah, looking at the timeline, it all looks pretty different. They've never started it that early at 3 o'clock from what I know and from what I've experienced at Speedo. What am I saying? It's from senior metros. But yeah, look, they've never really started it at 3 o'clock. It's usually been 5 o'clock. But it's an interesting one. I think they're doing things a bit differently at Swimming New South Wales. And I have a swimming competition, a swimming carnival. My school swimming carnival next Wednesday, of course. And right after, we have an invitational. So I'll explain this in a bit more detail. I have my swimming carnival that ends about 2 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock at SOPAC, I have a school competition invitational. That should be fun. Swimming 2 competitions in one day. I don't think I've ever done that before. So I'll let you all know how it goes. But of course, yeah, look, that should be fun. Doing like 20 races in a day. I know people do that at state at a lot. I think it's easier to do at a younger age as opposed to how old I am now. And I'm very old. I'm in my mid 50s. Everyone knows how old I am. I said it earlier in the podcast. Now, if you're over 15 and 11 months, you've most likely done your DKT. And of course, DKT refers to Driver's Knowledge Test. Now, my birthday is on the 24th of February, so 2 weeks away now. Oh, it's on a Tuesday. That sucks for me. Wow, that's not going to be fun at all. Oh, God, school on a birthday? That's the worst. But anyway, look, if you've done your DKT, let me know how you've gone in it. Have you failed it on the first go? Have you had to repeat it multiple times? I'm in the middle of doing mine because I would love to get on the roads, and I was telling people earlier at school that I'm doing it, and people don't want me on their roads. I think I'll be listening to a bit of, Biz by the Water on my drive home, and that I'm never saying that again. That was terrible. But yeah, look, if you've done your DKT, let me know how easy it was for you, and did you actually watch the videos? That's one thing I want to know, because I definitely did. I've been working very hard on my driver's knowledge test, and if anyone from the government is listening, yes, I'm very excited to be on the roads, and I'm very excited to get my hours up. So, oh God, I'm gonna crash. Now that brings us to the end of today's episode of Biz by the Water. This is your episode for Wednesday, the 11th of February, and a happy midweek, everyone. I know I've only got 2 more days to go of the working and school week. And of course, you can catch me on my Friday mini. I gotta love doing that Friday episode. It's the weekly wrap every Friday afternoon. And of course, I do my Sunday wrap as well. I do 2 wraps for the week. And we chat all about different techniques in swimming, different tips, coaching advice as well. And of course, everyone, thank you all for listening. Listen wherever you get your podcasts and catch up. We've done over 100 episodes. This is the 104th episode from what I believe. And of course, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. Oh, wow, I am tired. I should probably go take a nap. But everyone, it's Biz by the Water with Max.